Ladies and gentlemen, will you please put your hands together for your promoter Karen Huckle, swimming manager Brian Thompson, and your principal referee Sheila McKenzie. And will you please welcome onto poolside, led by your Swim England Hertfordshire president Janet Warrington, your officials for session 11. Ladies and gentlemen, your officials. And will you please be upstanding for the national anthem? Ladies and gentlemen, your announcer and commentator for this session, Mr. Peter Bays.
So a warm welcome to everyone for the this 11th session of the 2019 County Championships. Just a reminder that there are a lot of medals to be claimed. The medals for the age groups are on the far side of the pool by the learner pool area. Do please remember to go and collect your medals from over there. They will be available for all of the medalists in this session, and any other medals from previous sessions not collected will also be there. Big thank you to our President, Janet Warrington, who will be presenting the age group medals to the winners today. Thanks, Graham. So we're ready to get underway with event 501, the boys 10 years and over 400 metres freestyle. Going to be swum in 8 heats. This is heat 1 with swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. And the line-up for this first heat in lane 3, we've got Rafferty May. He's an 11-year-old swimmer from Watford. They're all 11-year-old in this first heat. Got Nathan Massam in lane 4. He's from St Albans, and in lane 5, James Gibson from Hemel Hempstead. Entry times range from around about the 5:55 up to about 6:03. So they're fairly close together. Hopefully they'll be pushing each other on to good times. So 50 metres, really nothing to choose between Nathan and Rafferty. Rafferty in 2, Nathan in 3 and Nathan in 4, and then James only just a little bit behind them. So then they get down this end, they'll be at 100 metres. And as they come up to the 100-metre split, splitting at 118, 119 for the leaders, and then 123 for James, just a little bit behind them. But still nothing between the first two. With Nathan perhaps half a metre clear of Rafferty at the moment. And these two are about 6 or 7 metres clear now of James. And a 150 at just over the 2-minute mark, 2:01 for both the leaders. You can see how close they are together by the times. And James 2:08 at 150. So this is halfway. Let's see where they are now. Entry times, remember, around about the 6-minute mark. So 2:44 is quite a way inside that entry split. And 2:45, so see now that just going into the lead now is Rafferty at halfway. 2:53 at halfway for James, which again is inside the these kind of entry split. It's about pretty much on it, but it's fractionally inside. But you can see the leading two are just trading places. And now at 250, 328, 329, so about a second nearly between the leading two, with Rafferty just getting clear of Nathan now. James turning at 338. And he's now putting in a big third 100 here, and it's now Rafferty May, 11-year-old from Watford, into 6:03. He's going to be turning first with 100 to go. And turns at 4:12, 4:14. Only about a second or so behind for Nathan. James coming down to his turn. At 300 metres, he splits at 4:23. And again, he's an entry time of almost bang on 6 minutes, so looking pretty good. So 50 to go, 4:55. So good sprint here by Rafferty. He's pulled out at quite a distance now. 4:58 for Nathan behind him, who's also going very well. He's entered at 5:54. But coming up to the final turn, Rafferty turns at 5:17, 5:20, Nathan. And as he comes through the touch, winning time 5:37.97 for Rafferty May. Inside is 6:03 entry time. 5:41 for Nathan Masson. He entered at 5:54, so a great time from him. James entered at 5:59, goes 5:49, 10 seconds inside his entry time. So three very, very good swims. So had a good first heat there with some very, very big PBs for those swimmers in the 11-year-old age group. Next heat, there's one 11-year-old in that one. There's another one to come in the heat after that. So two more 11-year-olds still to come. So a reminder, the medals for the age groups in the events in this session will be available as soon as the results are posted, and they can be collected from the medal table on the learner side of the pool. So we're just doing a safety swap for the pad, just checking it out on the far end of the pool, as you can see. Of course, those pads aren't picking up timing, but they're, you can see when they're moved that there's a gutter there, so it makes turning a lot easier at that end of the pool. They're just swapping one out so that if there is any problem with that pad, that there aren't any issues for the other swimmers as they turn in that lane. This is heat 2 of the boys 400 metres freestyle swimmers in all lanes. So, in heat 2 we have lane 1, Toby Martin, who is 12 years old from Harpenden. All 12 apart from a couple of odd ones. Lane 2 is Danny Foreman, he's another 12-year-old from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Mark Evans, who's a senior swimmer, 23-year-old, S14 swimmer for Hitchins. Keep an eye on Mark, he's a great swimmer, an S14 swimmer. Lane 4 is Theo Lim, who's 13 from Watford. Lane 5, Kobe Cornwell, who is 12 from Potters Bar. Lane 6, Samuel Barnett, who's 12 from Potters Bar. Lane 7, 11-year-old Hugo Rabbitschek-Smith, who's from Hatfield. And in lane 8 is Benjamin Taggart. Ben is 12 from Watford. Fastest entrant in this one, Theo in lane 4, 13-year-old, entered at 5:16. Times range down to about just under the 5:50 mark. So coming up to the first split, which is 100 metres, and in the lead at the moment we've got Kobe Cornwell from Theo Lim. Kobe in 5, Theo in 4, and then Samuel in 6. Leader turns 5:15.67, 5:15.96 for Theo, and then 1:17.11 for Samuel Barnett. 1:18s, 1:19s, and up to 1:21 for Ben Taggart, for Hugo rather, just ahead of Ben Taggart. And coming up to the 150. So Theo's still in the lead. Splits 156.27, then Kobe 156.85, 158 for Samuel Barnett. 2 minutes for Mark Evans, the S14 swimmer, going very well in lane 3. Good battle going on between Hugo and Ben in 7 and 8, both splitting at 2:05, very close at the moment. So they're now making their way down towards the halfway turn at 200 metres. So as they come down at 200, and it's still Theo in the lead at 2:37 and 2:37.8 for Kobe Cornwell right behind him. 2:39 behind him at halfway, Samuel Barnett. 2:42 Mark Evans. 2:44 for Toby Martin in lane 1, 2:46 for Danny Foreman in lane 2, and then 2:49 for Ben Taggart, and 2:50 for Hugo in lane 7. They're the halfway splits. But still in the lead, and extending it just a little bit at the moment, Theo Lim. We got Theo and then Kobe and Sam are all pretty much together out in the lead there. And we've Mark comfortably in 4th place. Ahead of Toby and Danny, who are fairly close, and still got this battle in 7 and 8 with Ben now just a little bit clear of Hugo. And when they hit this next turn, they'll have 100 metres to go. So Theo is still being chased by Kobe and Samuel, but Theo's now got a little bit of a lead. Let's see what his 300 metre split is. 3:58, under 4 minutes. 4 minutes exactly for Kobe, and then 4:01 for Samuel. Mark Evans splits at 4:06. The next turn will be Toby ahead of Danny. Toby at 4:10. Danny at 4:13, and now Ben, just a little bit clear of Hugo. Ben's at 4:16, Hugo 4:17, going into their final 100. But in the lead, coming down towards their last turn of 50 to go, it's Theo Lim being caught now by Kobe Cornwell, who is getting much, much closer. Kobe finishing faster in this last 100. Now down to only a second between them. Theo responds coming off the wall, and Kobe has gone with him. And these two now quite a little bit clear of Samuel in lane 6. And it is now stroke for stroke between Theo in 4, Kobe in 5. Kobe finishing the faster. As they hit the turn, it's Kobe now just going into the lead with only 25 to go. Kobe Cornwell from Potters Bar. Entry time of 5:20, 5:16 for Theo. Theo's responding. Theo coming back on Kobe. Kobe's hanging on. Theo's coming back on him. It's going to be right down to the touch. As they touch, Kobe and Izzy gets it. 5:14.97. Very fast sprint there at the end. Theo touching next to 5:15.21. Next to touch there was Samuel, 5:22. And these are all way inside their entry times. 5:26 for Mark Evans, pretty much on his time. 5:33, Toby Martin, and then 5:39s for both Hugo and Benjamin, with Danny at 5:41. Well done, swimmers. This is heat 3 of the 400 metres freestyle. And in heat 3, lane 1, we have George Prince, who is the fastest 11-year-old entrant in the event from Hatfield, end of 5:15.85. Lane 2 is Marco Borges, who's 13 from Stevenage. Lane 3, Jason Hose, 13 from Hatfield. Lane 4, Jake Moore, 13 from Potters Bar. And lane 5 is a 14-year-old James Coleman from St Albans. Lane 6, William Fawcett, who's 12 from Watford. And then 2 more 13-year-olds in lane 7, Alexander Claverbour from Berghamsted. And in lane 8, Fergus Reid from St Albans. So coming up to 100, leading the way in this one, James Colburn from Costa, splits at 68. Next to turn there, it's 72 seconds, William Fawcett, and then 2 on 73, Jason Ho in 3, and Jake Moore in 4. We got 114, Alexander Claverbour, and then Marco in lane 2, 115, 116, George Prince. James, though, about 7 metres clear at 150. Close behind him, William Fawcett and Jason Ho, Jake Moore, all pretty much together. And only a little way behind those now, Alexander in 7 and Fergus in lane 8 and over in lane 2, Marco and then George in 1. They're all pretty much in a line. Our leader is pulling away, he's having a great swim. Now, if his entry time was 5:10, so I'd be looking for about 2:34, something like that, 2:33 to do an even split, and he splits at 2:26 at halfway. It's pretty close behind him at the moment, 2:31, 2:32 for William and then Jason, and then 2:33 right behind those for Jake Moore at halfway. 2:34 also for Alexander Claverbour, 2:35 George Prince, 2:36 Fergus Reid. The leader going through 2:50, and now it's Jason Ho from Hatfield taking it on in second place, putting himself just a little bit clear of William Fawcett in 6 and Jake Moore in 4. The others are fairly close at the moment. Fergus just a little bit behind them at the moment, but our leader now coming down towards the 300 metre turn when he gets to this end. And starting to reel him in just a little bit now is Jason Ho of Hatfield, and in lane 6 William Fawcett, but the leader turning still a comfortable lead, 3:48. Now he's only a second and a half clear of Jason Ho, who's coming back on him in that third 100, and William Fawcett 3:51. 3:52, Jake Moore at 300 as well. 3:54 for Marco Borges, and 3:54 also for Alexander Klaverbourg and for George Prince. So it's getting much closer with the chasing pack. But now, what a great sprint this is into this last 100. Taking it on, Jason Ho from Hatfield. And in the lead, our leader, William James Coleman, tying up now as he's getting caught also by William Fawcett. But our leader turns at 4:27, Jason Ho. And now in second place, William Fawcett, as James Coleman tires into this last 100. Behind those, got Jake Moore from Potters Bar, but a great scrap behind those, all across the pool with George Prince and Marco and Alexander all together. But in the lead, it's Jason Ho of Hatfield, and Jason is well clear. Comfortably now up in second place, William Fawcett. These two have paced their race extremely well. Jason Ho, entry time of 5:10. Let's look at the board. He's going to be well inside that. Goes 5:03.83. William at 5:06.20, and he entered at 5:12. 5:10 was Jake Moore, just getting there ahead of 5:11 with a long time leader, James Coleman. So some very good times there. And this is heat 4 of the 400 metres freestyle. Stand down, swimmers, please. Heat 4, lane 1 is Nathaniel Mapley, who's 13 from Stallbridge. Lane 2 is Jago Darrington, who is 13 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 3, Jake Williamson, who's 14 from Hatfield. And lane 4, Thomas Hooper, who's 14 from St Albans. Lane 5 is the fastest 13-year-old entrant in the event, Hatfield's Andrew Tamborough, who's entered at 4:57. Lane 6 is Lucas Hartley, who's 12 from Hatfield. And lane 7 is Cub Madison, who's 13 from Hatfield. Lane 7, Ryan Wall, who's 12 from Royston. Fastest entrant here, 4:56, is Thomas Hooper in lane 4 from St Albans. He's 14. Early leader in lane 3 is Jake Williamson from Hatfield, entered at 4:59, and a 14-year-old. Been chased by Thomas Hooper from St Albans, and then Andrew Tamborough, and also on the far side Nathaniel Mapley. 100 metre split, 68.6 for Jake Williamson, then 70 seconds for Nathaniel Mapley in lane 1 in second there, and then 70 also for Thomas Hooper and Andrew Tamborough. And then we've got 72 for Jago Darrington, and then Cub Madison and Ryan Wall both on 72 as well, and then 1:14 Lucas Hartley. That's the 100 metre splits. But now starting to take this on, Nathaniel Mapley in lane 1 from St Albans, ends at 5:03. But 3 swimmers, as you can see in the pool, all in a row now, all around about the 48-second mark. 49 seconds, only just behind them, Thomas Hooper. And then a row of 150s, and then a 155 for Lucas Hartley. But turning now, coming down towards the halfway split. And still in the lead, Nathaniel Mapley, but now coming through as well, Andrew Tamborough, 13-year-old in lane 5. These two are going to be turning fairly close together, both on 225, just under 226. Then 226 for Jake Williamson at halfway. 228 for Cub Madison, and then 228 also for Jager Darrington. 228 also for Thomas Hooper, and then 228 also for Ryan Wall. 237, Lucas Hartley. See how close it is. Lots of those swimmers at 228 at the 200 metre split. Now taking us on, Andrew Tembra started to put in a good third 100, and he's pulling away from Nathaniel Mapley. And these two a little bit clear of the other 5 swimmers all in a row. And this is a very good third 100 being swum by Andrew Tembra, a 13-year-old. Ends at 4:57. Now this is 300 metres, just 100 to go. Andrew splits at 3:39. Nathaniel at 3:42 in second place, then 3:44s and 3:45s for the whole row of about 4 or 5 of them there. But moving ahead of that pack is Ryan Wall from Royston. He's pushing on hard in this final 100 already. Just coming up to 300 split. Lucas Hartley splits at 3:59. So just 50 to go when he gets to this turn. In the lead, Andrew Tembra paced this well. 4:57 his entry time. 50 metres to go. He's at 4:14. Great swim down this last 100 by Ryan Wall from Royston. He's catching Nathaniel. Nathaniel and Ryan both splitting at 4:21. 4:23 behind them for Cub Madison. And also for Jager Darrington. But a good swim in the lead. Coming down now towards the end. Andrew Tembra. 13-year-old from Hatfield. He's the fastest entrant at 13 years old. Coming into the last 5 metres, he ends at 4:57.84. Great time. 4:49.38. Big sprint finishes between Ryan in 8 and Nathaniel in 1. And it goes to Ryan, who gets it. Great last 100. 4:57.04. Nathaniel 4:58.08, right behind him to touch in third place. Behind those 5 minutes for Jager Darrington, and then 5 minutes also, very, very little between them for Lucas Club in 7 and William Jake. Coming into touch though, 5:21, and that's Lucas, and that completes that heat. Heat 5 of the 400 metres freestyle. And in Heat 5 we've got Joseph Sutton in lane 1, who is 14 years old from Watford. Lane 2, Jamie Brown is 15 from Stevenage. 3, Ethan Baskerville is 14 from Hatfield. 4 is Enzo Lim, 14 from Watford. Lane 5, Thomas Gill, 15 from Hatfield. Lane 6, Daniel Ord, 14 from Watford. And then with the fastest 12-year-old entrant in the event, Hatfield's Joel Peterson in lane 7. He's entered at 4:55.99. Lane 8 is Kieran Burkitt, who is 14 from St Albans. So this is 100 metres split, very, very close together. Got all first 5 lanes all going to be turning at just under 68 seconds, or just over 68, or very, very close together. 69s for Kieran in 8 and Daniel in 6, and then 70 seconds for Joel Peterson, but who's the 12-year-old, but they're all very close at the moment. Just going into a very small lead here, coming up to 150 is Thomas Gill from Hatfield. But you can see the others, Joseph, Jamie, Ethan and Enzo in that row from 1 to 4, all still right with him. Very little between them still. Just trying to pull away now. In lane 5, Thomas Gill. And he's got himself about half a metre over Enzo's alongside him, and also picking up a little bit now. We're in lane 2 is Jamie Brown. To see the halfway splits. Thomas 221, 223s together pretty much for Jamie and Enzo, and then 223 also for Joseph Sutton, 223 for Ethan Baskerville, so all very close together. 224 and 225 for Daniel Ord and Kieran Burkett, and then 226 at halfway for Joel Peterson. So trying to push on hard now. Thomas Gill in lane 5, but not much to choose between Enzo and Jamie behind him, but just ahead of Ethan and Joseph. This pack just a little bit clear now of Daniel in 6 and Kieran 8, and then Joel, who is actually gaining a bit back on them. He'd dropped back a little way and he's starting to catch those two a little bit. But this is a good third 100 from Thomas Gill, who's 15-year-old from Hatfield, ends at 4:48, and he has pulled out now about a metre and a half. Let's look at his 300 split. 3:36.55, 3:37 now Jamie Brown in second, 3:39 Ethan Baskerville, and then 3:39 also for Enzo Lim right together there, and also for Joseph Sutton behind those. 3:42s for all of the others. They're all pretty much in a row now. It's a good catch-up swim here by Joel Peterson, who's pacing himself in lane 7. .50 to go. 4:13 for the leader, and now up into second place, Jamie Brown from Stevenage. Comfortably ahead now of Ethan Baskerville and Enzo Lim from Watford and James Sutton. A leader pulling away even further now. Thomas Gill from Hatfield turns at 4:31 with just 25 metres to go. And at 4:48 he's done a very well paced swim. Great sprint finish coming in now from Ethan Baskerville alongside Jamie Brown. Ethan comes in the second, but Thomas is going to take this in a time of 4:49. We'll wait to see what comes up on the board. He didn't pick it up. It's about 4:49. It's under 4:50. 4:51.43. Second there was Ethan Baskerville, and third Jamie Brown right behind him at 4:52. We are winning time for 4:49.23 on the back up. And this is heat 6 of the 400 metres freestyle. Have a notice of disqualification to read out. Event 501, heat 4, lane 3. Event 501, heat 4, lane 3, disqualified for a technical infraction. So the line-up in heat 6 is Noah Cornwall, who's 15 from Potters Bar in 1. Max Robertson, 15 from Hatfield in lane 2. Lane 3 is Sarek Lewington, who's 16 from Hatfield, and lane 4 is Thomas Ogden, who is 15 from Bishop Stortford. Fastest entrant in this heat, his entry time is 4:32.69. Zane Batt in lane 5 is 16 from Hoddesdon. Lane 6 is Sam Pyfinch, who is 14 from Tring, and he's got two more 14-year-olds alongside him. Lane 6 is James Gisman from Bishop Stortford. Is lane 7, on lane 8 is Henry Newbury-Kemp from Hemel Hempstead. 59 seconds, under 60 seconds for Thomas Ogden at the 100 metre split. And then 63 and 64 for Zane and Sarek Lewington. 65, Max Robinson. 66, Noah Cornwell. 66 also for James Good. 65 for Sam Finch in lane 6. So pulling away now in the lead. Bishop Stortford's Thomas Ogden, 132 now, 150. And going after him is Otters and Zane Batt. Close behind Zane in the third place battle at the moment. Just being led at the moment by Sarek Lewington from Hatfield. But pretty close, he's got Max behind him. This is halfway for the leader. And Thomas turns at 206.53. Zane next to turn, 212 and then 215 for a whole raft of them. We got Max and Sarek and also Sam Finch. 218s for Noah Cornwell and James Goodswan, and then 224 Henry Newbury-Kemp.
Probably the 8s, 10s and 12s will play on the 8s.
Leader coming up to 250, having a very good swim. And Zane getting slowly drawn in by Sam alongside him in lane 6. These two now got just a little bit away from Max and Sarek, the two Hatfield swimmers swimming in 2 and 3. So it's a good battle for second and third. Zane just holding off Sam at the moment in this third 100, but Thomas has pulled out even more, I think. He's having a very, very good swim. Remember, his entry time 4:32, splits at 3:17 with 100 to go. Zane's next to turn at 3:24. 3:24 also for Sam, he's about half a second back. And then 3:27 for Max, 3:28 for Sarek at 300. 3:32 James Gisborne, lane 7. And 3:31 just ahead of him Noah Cornwell in lane 1. 3:41 last to turn at 300 is Henry. 50 metres to go now for the leader. Thomas Ogden, and they are slightly catching him, but he's way clear. Turns at 3:52, great swimness in the lead. Zane is still holding off Sam at the moment, but this looks like it could be extremely close for second and third. And the battle between the Hatfield swimmers for the 4th and 5th places, Max and Sarek having a great battle there in 2 and 3. But coming down now into the last 10 metres, Bishop Stortford's Thomas Ogden entered at 4:32. If you look at the clock, it's going to be a great new PB. Going to go under 4:30, goes 4:27.39. Look at this sprint. Sam in 6, Zane in 5. And it is Sam who just has longer fingernails, 4:33.35. Zane 4:33.49 right behind him, and 4:36.97 to Max Robertson, who gets the honours in the Hatfield battle over there in between 2 and 3. Last few strokes coming in from Henry Newbury-Kemp. And Henry comes in and touches, and that completes heat number 6. And this is heat number 7 of the 400 metres freestyle. So penultimate heat, heat 7, you've got James Pope in lane 1, who is 16 from Watford. Lane 2 is Peter Sikoska, who's 14 from Hatfield. He's the fastest 14-year-old entrant in the whole event at 4:27. Lane 3 is Edward Jex, who is 16 from St Albans, and 4 Ethan Sutton, 17 from Watford. Lane 5, Adam Evans, who's 17 from Hitchin. Lane 6 is Alexander Horn, who is 16 from Costa. Lane 7 is Ahan Sani, who's It's 15 from Hatfield, and then Benjamin Green. Ben in lane 8 is 15 from Watford. So coming up to 100 metres. And at 62 seconds, the first to turn there, it's Ethan Sutton, a whole load on 62 and 63, it all pretty much together actually, the chasing pack. This is coming up to 150. Fastest entrant, Ethan Sutton, turns first at 1:35, but really nothing to choose between Adam and Alexander behind him. And then we got 3 more swimmers across the pool. We got Peter in 2 and Edward in 3, and then over in lane 8 we got Benjamin Green, and also in lane 6 going well is Alexander Horn. Alexander coming up now a little bit, but still in the lead, coming up at halfway. Halfway turning first, it's Ethan Sutton, 2:09, 2:10 for Adam Evans in second, 2:10 also for Peter Sikowski behind him, and then 2:11 for Alexander Horn, 2:11 also for Benjamin Green, and then 2:11 also for Edward Jex, 2:13 James Pope, 2:13 also for Hahn in lane 7. So it's a very close race. 250 trying to pull away in this third 100. Ethan Sutton. Going with him is Adam Evans in 5, who's hitching swimmer going up onto Ethan's shoulder, but also now picking up well over in lane 2. Peter Sikowska, 14-year-old, fastest 14-year-old entrant from Hatfield, and now also Alexander Horn from St Albans in lane 6 is going with Peter. But still in the lead, coming down to 300 metres. Ethan Sutton from Watford. Alex Evans now coming under pressure from Peter Sikowska. Ethan turns at 3:17. Alex and Peter both turning at 3:19. 3:20 with 300 for Alexander Horn. Right behind him, and then 3:21 for Edward Jex. 3:22, 3:23 for Ben Green and James Pope, and then Hahn at 3:24. Just 100 metres to go. And now coming up to the last 50 metres, and Adam Evans is trying to get up there along with Peter Sikowska and Ethan Sutton. They're all turning pretty much together around about the 3:53 mark. These three are a little bit clear now of Alexander Horn in lane 6, and over in lane 3 Edward Jex. But it's really now looks like it's between Peter Sikowska in lane 2 and Ethan Sutton in lane 4. And these two have now pulled a little bit clear of Adam Evans. And now into the last 10 metres. Peter Sikowska trying to get past Ethan Sutton, but Ethan responds brilliantly. 4:24.92 for Ethan, 4:25.53 for Peter. Great swim, couldn't quite get there. 4:27.2, third to touch is Adam Evans. So can you clear the pool, please, swimmers? Clear the pool, please, swimmers. And we come to our final heat. Please welcome to the blocks your finalists lining up, starting in lane 8. From Hemel Hempstead, Matthias Morse in lane 1. From Bishop Stortford, Mehdi El Mansar. In lane 7, from St Albans, Thomas Cadenhead. In lane 2, from Hatfield, Joshua Bridgeland. In lane 6 from Hatfield, the fastest 15-year-old entrant, Michael Klimoszewski. In lane 3 from Cheshunt, Callum Wollaston. In lane 5 from City of St Albans, Jude Lydiard. And your fastest entrant in the whole event from St Albans in lane 4, Ralph Munzer. Your final heat for the men's 400 metres freestyle. So we've got a couple of 15-year-olds in this one. I mentioned in lane 6, Michael Klimoszewski, and also in lane 1, Mehdi is another 15-year-old. We've got a couple of 16-year-olds, Josh Bridgeland in 2 and Matthias in lane 8, and then the others are all senior swimmers. They're all in that 16-plus category anyway, though. Under 28 seconds for the leaders at 50. So fastest entrant is exactly 4 minutes, Ralph Munzer in lane 4, but coming up to the 100-metre mark, the first to turn looks like it's going to be Michael in 6th. Michael Klimoszewski turns at 57.8, 58.09 for Ralph Munzer, and then 58 also for Thomas Cadenhead, 59 Callum Wollaston, and then 59 also for Jude Lydiard. Rest on 60 and then up to 62 for Matthias Morse. And at 150, stretching clear, Michael Klimoszewski. The 15-year-old entered at 4:08. So coming down to the 200-metre split, we'll see Michael is going to be first to turn ahead of Ralph. Michael's time, 1:59.32, so under 2 minutes. 2 minutes for Ralph, and then 2:01 for Callum Wollaston and Jude Lydiard, and then 2:03 Thomas Cadenhead, 2:05 Mehdi over in lane 1, and then 2:08 and 2:10 for Josh Bridgeland and Matthias Morse. So pulling away a little bit now. Coming up to 2:50, Michael Klimoszewski. 2:30, so he's going very well. Still going after him at the moment, Ralph Munzer, who's entered at 4 minutes. And they're coming down towards the 300-metre split. But Michael is having a cracking swim. Remember, ended at 4:08. So let's see how close he can get to 4 minutes. Splits at 3:01, so he could be in for about a 4:04, 4:05 if he can keep this going. 3:02 behind him for Ralph Munzer. Then to go 3:04 and 3:05 for Jude Lydiard and Callum Wollaston. 3:10s for Mehdi and Thomas Cadenhead. 3:16 Josh Bridgeland. 3:20 Matthias Morse at 300-metre mark. But still clear here, Michael Klimoszewski. He's got 50 to go. He turns at 3:32. He's got a big sprint on. He could go close to 4, maybe about 4:03, 4:04 maybe. Going after him very hard indeed now. Fastest entry time, Ralph Munzer at 4 minutes, and he's in second at the moment. And he's going after Michael. Ralph is going after him, and Michael is hanging on to this. Great battle behind for the third place spot between Callum and Jude. They are sprinting really hard, but it's going to be Michael Klimoszewski who's going to take this in 4:03.51, 4:04.84 for Ralph Munzer. Look how close that was for third place. Bronze medal position there, 4:06.22 2.5 going to Jude Lydiard, and for a 6.29, 400ths behind for Callum Williston. A few strokes over in lane 2 for Josh Bridgeland, just outside his entry time, and last coming now, Tyus Morse, who touches to complete the men's 400 metres freestyle. Can you clear the pool to the side, please, Summers? Can you clear to the side of the pool, please? So well done to all of the boys. A reminder that when the results are published, if you can go and collect your medals if you want any, that'd be great. We move on to event 502, which is the final event in this session, which is the girls' 400 metres freestyle, which will be swum in 8 heats. And this is the girls' 400 metres freestyle, heat 1. And the lineup in this first heat is Janavi, who's 11 from Watford in lane 1. Lane 2 is Jasmine Pereira, who's 11 from Pottersbar. In fact, they're all at 11 apart from lane 4. Lane 3 is Sophie Hollis, who's from St Albans. Lane 4 is a 12-year-old Watford's Amy Harper, and she's the fastest entrant in this heat at 4:46. Lane 5, Alexandra Yeebsley, who's from Hatfield, and then 3 Watford 11-year-olds complete the lineup. In lane 6 is Angelica Lazarskate. In lane 7 is Isabella Pecci. In lane 8 is Kaylin Heo. So as we hit the first checkpoint at 100 metres, first to turn, Watford's Amy Harper, 1:17, 1:17 right behind her Alexander Yeebsley, and Angelica also at 1:18 just outside those. 1:19, Isabella Pecci was next to turn, and then 1:22s for both Sophie Hollis and Kaylin, and then 1:23s for Giovanni and Jasmine, and also for Kaylin. Coming down to the 150 metre mark. 150, 158 for the leader. Amy Harper from Watford, just a little bit clear at the moment of Alexandra from Hatfield. And then Angelica and Isabella are the next two chasing those. And this will be halfway when they get to this turn. Our leader entered at 5:46, and halfway she splits at 2:40. 2:43 for Alexandra and 2:44 for Angelica. 2:47 at halfway Isabella Pecci. 2:53 Sophie Hollis and Yasmin Pereira 2:55. Yanhavi at 2:56 and 2:56 also for Kaylin. Leader now at 250. and Alexandra. Amy Harper is just easing away at the moment in lane 4 from Alexandra, and behind them Angelica. So Amy, remember 246.87 is her entry time. And this is 300 metres, so with 100 to go, just over the 4 minutes, 4:01.73. Next will be Alexandra from Hertford, entered at 4:49. Hertford now goes 4:09, then 4:11 for Angelica, who had 300. And at 300, Isabella is 4:15. .424 at 300 for Sophie Hollis, and then Jasmine at 4:27, and Giovanni at Yanavi at 4:28, 4:31 Kaylin at 300 metres. Leaders 3:50 now, just 50 metres to go for the leader. Turns at 4:41. So an entry time of 5:46, that's well over a minute to get that last 50 metres. 4:52 and 4:54. Chasing pair, still leading the way in second place in this heat. Alexandra ahead of Angelica in lane 6. But our leader now coming down into the last 10 metres. Amy Harper. Entry time 4:46.87. Touches first in 5:19.84, so that's a massive PB, 15 second plus PB. Second to touch is going to be Alexandra Useley, entered at 5:49, goes 5:31. Then Angelica 5:56 entry time, goes 5:36, very good times here. Isabella Petcher entered at 6:03, goes 5:41. Sophie Hollis entered at 5:51. Records 5:51, was bang on her entry time. Great sprint finish over there. Giovanni just getting there earlier, and Jasmine both in their 5:54s. And 5:55, and then 6:03 for Kaylin to complete that heat. This is heat 2 of the 400 metres freestyle. Just a reminder for all swimmers who are in the marshalling area, if you're going to the marshalling area for your heat, do please make sure you're wrapped up warm. The marshalling area is extremely cold, I'm afraid, so do make sure you stay very warm and wrapped up right the way through until when you compete. In heat 2, we've got Kira May Ingram, who's 12 from St Albans in 1, Abby Hackworth, who's 12 from Hatfield in 2, Eva Lawson, who's 11 from Berkhamsted in 3, and lane 4, Chloe Costa, who's 12 from Hatfield. The rest are all 12 as well. Lane 5 is Raisa Vickery, who's from St Albans, and Eva Glenn in 6 is from Hatfield. 7 is Anya Dunwoody, who is from St Albans, and Annabella Brown in lane 8 is from Stevenage. So 100 metres, 1:14, leading the way there is Eva Lawson from Rice Vicar at 1:15, and 1:18 for Eva Glenn, also 1:18s for Annabella Brown and Anya Dunwoody, 1:19 for Chloe Costa, and then 1:23 Abby Hackworth and Kira May at 1:25 at 100 metres. Coming up to the 150, Lane 3, Lawson, the fastest 11-year-old entered in the event. His entry time, Berkhamsted swimmer, at 5:37. And looking good for that at the moment at 1:55 at 150 metres. Being chased a little way behind her at the moment is Raisa Vickery. Moving up into third place now, coming up to the halfway split in lane 6 is Eva Glynn. Eva though turns first at halfway, 2:35.99. Second to turn behind her, 2:39.79 is Racer. And then 2:42 for Eva Glynn, who's now moving up. Then 2:45 for Annabelle Brown, then 2:46 for Anya Dunwoody and also for Chloe Costa. 2:49 at halfway, Abby Hackworth. And 2:57 for Kira May. But good swim in the lead in lane 3. An 11-year-old from Berkhamsted. So at 300 metres, 3:56.61 for the leader. It's a good split, it's 4:04 in second place for Raisa Vickery, 4:06 still getting a little bit close now, Eva Glynn from Hatfield, and then 4:10 Chloe Costa, a teammate, in fourth place now, 4:11 Annabelle Brown. 4:12 right behind those, Anya Dunwoody, and then 4:15 Abby Hackworth. 4:27 for Kira May. Leader going brilliantly, got 50 metres to go. Her entry time for Eve was 5:37, she's at 4:36, so 61 seconds to get inside her entry time. Right behind her, 5 is second place at the moment, 4:47 for Raisa Vickery and Eva Glynn there right behind her, and you can see how close they are. Can Eva get on terms with Raisa? The other 4 swimmers in a row across the pool. But our leader now coming into the last 5 metres. 11-year-old Berkhamsted swimmer ended at 5:37. Look at this time. 5:15.81. What a fabulous swim. Big sprint finish here. Coming in second place, going to be Raisa in 5:26. She entered at 5:35. Third to touch, 5:28. Eva Glynn from Hatfield. And Eva's entry time was 5:37. And then next was Anya Dunwoody at 5:34, and then 5:35 for Annabelle Brown. We've got 5:35 also for Chloe Costa, 5:36 Abby Hackwood, and then 5:54 for Kira May. This is heat 3 of the girls' 400 metres freestyle. And the line-up heat 3 in lane 1. Camille Vanier, who is 12-year-old from Hatfield. She appears to be the fastest of the 12-year-olds entered in the event at 5:29.01. Lane 2, Abigail Brez, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. Lane 3, Emily Cancross, who's 13 from Hitchin. Lane 4, Jessica Warren, who's 14 from Watford. And lane 5, Megan Morley, who's 13 from Watford. Lane 6, Heather Mann, 13 from Stevenage. And lane 7 is Keely White, 13 from Potters Bar. Lane 8 is Gabriela Gomez-Pavon, who's 12 from Potters Bar. 34 seconds at the 50. Coming up to the 100-metre split. Jessica Warren leading the way, who's the fastest entrant at 5:12, so let's see where she is at 100. And 111.61, 113s for Megan Morley and also Abigail Bryars. 114, Emily Cairncross. 115, Camille Vanier. 116s for both Keely White and Gabrielle Gomez-Brown. 118, Heather Mann. Jessica Warren, Watford swimmer though, coming up to the 250 mark with about a 3-metre lead. 150, leading from a teammate, Megan Morley. And then at the moment, behind those is Abigail Perez and then Emily Cairncross. And this is halfway for Jessica Warren. Remember, entry time of 5:12, so let's see where she is. And well inside that, 2:29.75. Going to be close to 5 minutes if she can keep this up. 2:34 behind her for Megan Morley, and then 2:36, Emily Cohn. Then 2:36, Abigail Burrows. 2:37, Keely White. 2:38, Camille Barnier. 2:39, Heather Mann and Gabrielle Gomez Pavon in lane 8. So Jessica Warren, 2:50 at 3:09. Still comfortably in second, Megan Morley. But the battle for third place is heating up a bit now with Keely White in lane 7, getting up on terms with Abigail Brez and Emily Cairncross. .50 metres to go, 3:48 for the leader. And in second place still, Megan Morley, but now moving up. Emily Cairncross from Hitchin moves up into third place, but only just from Potters Bar's Keely White in lane 7. Also going well now, Abigail Brez in lane 2 from Berkhamsted. So a great battle on for the minor places, but in the lead with just half a length to go. Jessica Warren from Watford. Entry time. She's got 50 to go and she's only got 4:28. Remember, her entry time is 5:12. Megan Morley entered at 5:18 with 50 to go. It's 4:38. 4:39 right behind her now. Emily Cairncross, and then 4:40 for Keely White. So very tight indeed for the minor places. But sprinting down this final length. Coming into the last 5 metres, Jessica Warren. Into 5:12, going to be way inside that. Goes 5:05.77. Battle for second. Megan Morley has been second place the whole way, hanging on there for 5:18. Very fast finish from Keely White. Can she get there? No, Megan gets there, 5:17.31. Key White, very fast last length. Tom is in third place at 5:17.75. So some new personal best times been recorded there across the pool. This is heat 4 of the girls' 400 metres freestyle. Grace Corley is in lane 1, who is 13 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 2 is Olivia Kavanagh, 14 from Potters Bar. And then a big row of 14-year-olds alongside her. In 3 is Bella Parkes from Hoddesdon. 4 is Georgia Pritchard from Hatfield. 5 is Amelia Dunwoody from St Albans. In lane 6, Sophia Pecci from Watford. Then we've got one 13-year-old, is Neve O'Mara in lane 7 from Watford. And then another 14-year-old, Hannah Brooke, in lane 8 from St Albans. 32 seconds at the first 50-metre checkpoint. Coming up to the 100-metre split, very close indeed between 3 and 4. We've got Bella splitting at 69, then 70 seconds to Georgia Pritchard, then behind those two. Amelia Dunwoody, 1:11, 1:11 also for Hannah Brooke and Neve, 1:12. So Bella and Georgia Pritchard very close together. Georgia now just getting ahead of Bella at 1:50. And Georgia now trying to push on hard in the second 100. Close behind we got a couple of St Albans swimmers, Amelia Dunwoody and Hannah Brooke, who are battling it with Watford's Neve, and also on the far side Grace Corley up there as well. Georgia Pritchard coming down to halfway. An entry time of 5 minutes, and she turns first to 2:25.34. Bella 2:26.30, 2:29.58 Hannah Brooke, and then 2:29.88 Amelia Dunwoody. 2:30 for Neve O'Mara, and then 2:30 also for Grace Corley. 2:32 Sophia Pecci at halfway, and the last one was on halfway. 2:33 was Olivia Kavanagh from Potters Bar. Just stretching out our lead a little bit here, Georgia Pritchard. 3:03, 2:50. Bella Parkes, you can see 2 seconds behind. And now picking up in this third 100 is Hannah Brooke in lane 8 from St Albans, who's starting to just catch a little bit, but 2 or 3 other swimmers going with her. Also going well is Grace Corley in lane 1. This is 300, and with 100 to go. 3:40 for Hatfield's Georgia Pritchard, 3:44 for Bella Parkes, 3:47 Hannah Brooke now clearly in third place, 3:49 behind her Neve in lane 7, and then 3:50 for Grace in lane 1. 3:50 also Amelia Dunwoody in lane 5, and Sophia Pecci. 3:50, 3:52 for Olivia Kavanagh between those. So with 50 metres to go, 4:18 for leaders, stretched out now about a 7-metre lead. Georgia Pritchard from Bella Parkus, and now going well in third place, Hannah Brooke in lane 8. Now coming up on Hannah is Neva Mara trying to get up into fourth place. She's got ahead of Grace over in lane 1. Leader now into the last half a length. Remember, she entered at 5 minutes, 0.51. Can she go under 5 minutes? Yep, she's going to go comfortably inside that at a time of 4:55.86. Going to be very, very close. Very fast finish from Hannah Brooke. But Bella just hanging on there to second place, 5:01.78. Hannah 5:02.27 touching in third. 5:04.70. Fourth to touch there was Neve, finishing with a good second half. This is heat 5 of the women's 400 metres freestyle. So heat 5 of 8 and the lineup of this heat. Helen Stafford in lane 1, who's 15 from St Albans. Lane 2 is Neve Kelly, who's 15 from Hadfield. Lane 3, Laura Hull, who's 14 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 4 is Dana Shepherdson, who's 14 from Potters Bar. Lane 5, Charlotte Williams, 13 from Cheshunt. Lane 6 is Kira Beaver, who is 15 from Watford. Lane 7, Lucy Whitehook, who's 15 from Potters Bar. And lane 8, Gemma Nottage, 14 from Watford. 31 seconds, leader at 50 metres. So coming up to the 100 metre split, and it's Charlotte Williams who's going to turn just in the lead, 66 seconds, 67 for Lucy in lane 7, third at 100, 68 second Laura Hull, and then 69 for Dana Shepherdson, and then 69 also for Neve Kelly. 69 also Gemma Nottage and Kira Beaver, so we've got a lot of them there around the 69 second mark. Now, going into the lead is Lucy from Potters Bar. She's pushing on hard in the second 100 ahead of Charlotte Williams. Got about a couple of seconds or second and a half on Charlotte at 150. So Lucy having a good second 100 now. Coming up to her halfway split. She's entered at 4:59. Charlotte Williams at 4:58, so they're evenly matched on paper. But Lucy turns first at halfway at 2:21, Charlotte 2:23, and then 2:24 for Laura, and then 2:25 for Dana in lane 4. 2:25 at halfway for Neve, 2:26. Helen Stafford in lane 1, and also for Gemma Nottage in lane 7, and 2:28 Kira Beaver in lane 6. But gradually stretching a lead out, Lucy in lane 7. And Charlotte going well, but they're starting to get closer to her and being led by Dana in lane 4. And Dana Shepherdson now trying to get up on the shoulder of Charlotte Williams in lane 5. The 3 all going well. Neve Kelly and Hatfield trying to make a break from the chasing pack of 3 as well. And she's now starting to catch Dana Shepherdson a little bit, but still in the lead. Lucy Whittock, who's from Lucy Whittock, 15-year-old Potters Bar swimmer, into 4:59. This is 300 at 3:37, 3:40 for Charlotte Williams, 3:41 for Dana Shepherdson up into 3rd, and 3:41 also for Helen Stafford, 3:42 for Neve, and 3:44 for Laura. 3:44 also for Gemma Nottage. 3:45 for Kira in lane 6. So 50 metres to go, and leaders still hanging on to this. And Lucy in the lead. Charlotte is holding 2nd place. She's responded very well in this final 100, and she's holding off Dana. Now Helen Stafford is starting to come through strongly in lane 1, having a good last 100, coming up on the shoulders of Neve Kelly. Leader though kicking hard into the final length. Lucy Whittock is 15-year-old from Potters Bar. It's at 4:59. It's going to take this. Very good sprint finish coming in from Helen Stafford and Neve Kelly. But it's going to be Lucy who takes this in time of 4:53.62. Great last length there, 4:56.03, brings Helen Stafford up into 2nd place at a 4:56.2. 3rd place, Dana Shepherdson. Very close. Well done. Heat 6 of the girls, 400 metres freestyle. Heat 6, lane 1 is Eleanor Mason, who is 16 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 2 is one of 2 13-year-olds in this, Isabella Murta from Hatfield. Lane 3, Gemma Hansen, who is 16 from Hatfield. And lane 4 is Ellie Hollis, who is 15 from St Albans. Lane 5, Agnes Burns, who's 18 from Harpenden. Lane 6 is Kaya Phillips, who's 13 years old from Bishop Stortford. She's fractionally the fastest of the 13-year-olds. She's entered at 4:51.89. Lane 7 is Francesca Pecci, who's 16 from Watford, and lane 8, Eleanor Craig, who is 15 from Watford. So it's very close. The leader, Ellie Hollis, is away from the rest, but at the 100-metre split, she splits at 66.77, and all the others are between 68 and 69. Very, very close indeed. Second, just at the 100-metre mark, is Eleanor Mason, who's just fractionally ahead of Eleanor Craig. So now on the outside lanes 1 and 8. But the fastest entrant in this, Ellie Hollis from St Albans, ends at 4:48.29, is still in the lead and pulling clear. Starting to spread out a little bit behind her. And 3 swimmers are all going to be turning pretty much close in 2nd place. You can see all together on 1:44. Lanes 1, 2 and 8 all together. But still in the lead, Ellie Hollis. So they're coming up to the 200 metre mark and starting to make her way through now. Isabella Murtaugh in lane 2 goes to the front as they come to the 200 metre mark. Also going well now, Eleanor Craig. But now Isabella Murtaugh turns first. 2:21 at halfway, then 2:21 also for Eleanor Mason in lane 1. And third place now, Ellie Hollis at 2:21. 2:21 also for Eleanor Craig in fourth place there, in 2:22 for Kaya Phillips. So, starting to ease away now, Murtaugh. Accelerating into the second half at 2:50, she's at 2:56. Really nothing to choose between Ellen Mason in lane 1 and Eleanor Craig in lane 8. Behind her, third place now, Gemma Hansen moving up. But it's Isabella Murtaugh putting in a very big third 100 and starting to ease away from the others. Gemma Hansen starting to make her move coming up as well, and Eleanor Craig is still just ahead of Eleanor Mason. But 300, Isabel Murtaugh, 3:32, 3:35 for Gemma Hansen now up into second, 3:35 Eleanor Craig in third place, and 3:36 Eleanor Mason behind there at 300. 3:37 Kaya Phillips, 3:39 for Ellie Hollis, and 3:42 and 3:45 for Agnes and Francesca. $50 metres to go. Isabella Murtaugh from Hatfield. 3:52 entry time, and she splits at 4:08. 4:12 and 4:13 for Gemma, and over in lane 8, Eleanor. About 4:27 with just 1 length to go for Hatfield's Isabella Murtaugh. So an entry time of 4:52, she hits the last 5 metres. It's a great battle behind her, it's going to be very, very close. She takes this in 4:44.20. Great finish by Eleanor Craig, brings her up into second place. Great sprint finish, 4:48.14. Just sneaking in and overtaking Gemma Hansen in the last few metres. Gemma's time, 4:48.96. 4:49.74. Fourth to touch was Kaya Phillips, who's the 13-year-old. Penultimate heat 7 of the girls 400 metres freestyle. And heat 7 lineup is lane 1, Jessica Heesum, who's 16 from Potters Bar. 2, Matilda Turner, 16 from Hitchin. Lane 3 is Jessica Keir, who's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 4, Ella Norton, 15 from Hatfield. She's the fastest entrant in this heat at 4:41. Lane 5 is Sarah Carroll, who's 17 from Bishop Stortford. Then we've got the fastest 14-year-old entrant in the event, Valeria Giron, who's in lane 6. She's entered 4:44. Lane 7, Anastasia Wilkinson, who's 14 from Hatfield as well, and she's only just a little bit slower than Valeria's time. And then Freya Harwood in lane 8 is 15 from Hitchin. And this is the 100-metre split, and it's Hitchin's Matilda, who's going to be fractionally in the lead of 105.19 and 105.62 for Ella Norton. 66 for Sarah Karen, 66 also for Valeria in lane 6, and then 66 also for Jessica Heesum in lane 1. 67s and 68s after those. Still pretty close, but easing away a little bit. Matilda, who's going well in this third length. So coming down to the 200-metre split. And at 200, halfway, 214.93 for Hitchens Matilda Turner, 216 Ella Norton, 217 for Sarah Carroll, 218 Valeria Giron. So pretty close, second between each of those ones. Then 220 Freya Harwood, 226, 21 for Anastasia. And then 221 also of Jessica Eason, 222 Jessica Keogh. Now the halfway splits. So this is 300 for the leader, 326.58 going very well, 329 behind her for Ella Norton, 330 Sarah Carroll, and then 333 Valeria, 334 Freya Howard at 300, 335 Anastasia Wilkinson, 337 Jessica Hayes, and 338 for Jessica Keogh. So our leader going extremely well in lane 2. Remember, had an entry time of 4:41. And with just 50 to go, 4:01.91. Up in second at the moment is Jessica Keogh from Hatfield, entered 4:43. She's the fastest entrant in the heat. Behind her, Ella Norton rather than Sarah Carroll. Ella Norton is the one in second place, and Sarah Carroll behind her. But our leader, Matilda Turner from Hitchin, entered at 4:41.9, goes 4:36.40. Next to touch, Ella Norton entered at 4:41, goes 4:39, 4:43 for Sarah, just outside her entry time, and 4:47 next to touch was Valeria Giron, the 14-year-old. So this is the final heat of the girls' 400-metre freestyle. Please welcome to the blocks your final heat swimmers. Leading the way in lane 7 for Hatfield, Sophie Payne. In lane 2 for Watford, Lucy Park. In lane 6 for Hemel Hempstead, Alice Fender. Okay, we've got to re-line up heat, so we'll start again. But lead 7 from Watford is Lucy Park. In lane 2 from Hatfield, Sophie Payne. In lane 6 from Hemel Hempstead, Alice Fender. In lane 3 from Bishop Stortford, Millie Fields. In lane 5 from Watford, Erin O'Mara. And our fastest entrant in the final, in lane 4 from St Albans, Lily Merritt. Your final heat swimmers for the girls 400 metres freestyle. So you notice there's a couple of swimmers missing, which has changed the lineup and the heat lane. So apologies for the confusion there. So Sophie Payne in lane 2 is a 17-year-old. Millie Fields in lane 3 is only 15 years old. In lane 4, Lily Merritt is 16. In lane 5, Erin O'Mara is 16. In lane 6, Alice Fender is an 18-year-old, and Lucy Park in lane 7 is a senior swimmer. So coming up to the 100 metre split. Got Millie, Lily and Erin all going to be turning absolutely together at 64.5. 65 for Lucy Park in lane 7, and then 66 Alice Fender, and Sophie is 68. So with the coming down to 150, and still really nothing to choose between them. Millie Fields and Erin just fractionally ahead of Lily, but they're all very, very close. And coming up into 4th place. In 4th place, Alice Fender. Is Lucy Park ahead of Alice and Sophie. We have had handed in a red-banded one of these sports watches has been left. If someone's lost one, they can let me know. Erin O'Mara first to turn there halfway, 2:14, 2:15 for Millie Fields, and then 2:15 also for Lily Merritt. It's all very close together. 2:17 behind those, Lucy Park, and then 2:20s for both Alice Fender in 6 and Sophie Payne in 2 at 200 metres. So again, I've had a watch handed in, one of these sort of sports bands been handed in. It was left on the hitching coach's chair, so if anyone's lost that, they can come and see us. We'll like to get it back to them. So Erin it is who's pushing on now, 2:49. 2:50 going after Millie Fields, and then Lily Merritt 2:51, just spreading it out a little bit at the front now. Erin going very hard on this third 100. Lucy Park is still ahead of Sophie Payne and Alice Fender, but Erin it is still ahead of Millie Fields. And they're just dropping Lily just a little bit, but Lily is still there, and Lily is starting to just ease up a little bit closer to them, but it is Erin still at 3:24, 3:25 for Millie, and Lily there at 3:26. Very close behind, 3:30 and 3:31, with Sophie now just ahead of Lucy, and then 3:34, 300 for Alice. These three in the front still pretty close together, but now moving clear, pushing in a good penultimate length. Erin O'Mara, who's from Watford. Erin's entry time of 4:26.42. She's just ahead of Millie, splits at 3:58, 3:59 for Millie, 4:02 for Lily, and then 4:06 Sophie, now comfy up in 4th place. 4:08 and 4:12 for Lucy and Alice. But it is Erin O'Mara who's got herself clear of Bishop Stortford's Millie Fields. Millie is sprinting hard, coming back on her. But Erin O'Mara is going to hang on to this. Erin ends at 4:26, Millie at 4:27. Erin touches at 4:31, 4:32 for Millie, and then Lily comes through in third place, then 4:37. Next to touch is Sophie at 4:40, and then Lucy 4:45, and completing our session, Alice Fender touches to complete that final heat. Well done all those swimmers. If you can clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers. Clear the pool, please. There will be a 15-minute swim down for any swimmers who wish to have a swim down. There is 15 minutes of swim down time available. That'll take you through until about 25 past 11, around 25 past 11. The next session will start at 12 o'clock warm-up. Warm-up is at 12 o'clock for the next session. So you've got a 15-minute warm-up, a swim down. We have another notice of disqualification, I'm afraid, event 502, heat 3, lane 2. Event 502, heat 3, lane 2, disqualified for a technical infraction. So there is swim down time now for, runs through till 25 past. Got a few minutes swim down for those who wish to avail themselves of that, and the next session will start at 12 o'clock. The medal table still has a lot of medals to be claimed. Medal table over on the far side. Our Swim Hertfordshire President Janet Warrington is here today again.